philosophy or spirituality you believe in, I still define faith. Do I have faith in what I'm doing?
Hey guys, I'm FC, your host of the new FC show, Against All Odds, investor, entrepreneur, and I'm going to be social media feed and the network, TakingNetwork.tv. That's right, it's available on Roku, Apple TV. I'm looking forward to seeing you every Thursday. Join me live. If you're interested in my Entrepreneur Accelerating Academy, go to my website, entrepreneurweekly.club. Check it out. Hey guys, welcome to the FC show at TakingNetwork.tv. Guys, it's a huge blessing for you guys to be here today. I'm FC, and today we're here to personally interview John Pugsley, who is a financial advisor. And John, when him and I actually met, he found out what I did with the youth and has a huge passion for financial literacy of the youth, and he understands that we're lacking that and many other components in the education system today in our inner cities with what's going on in the youth. And that's what FC Show is all about, to take you on the inside of what it's like to be an entrepreneur and a business owner from start to finish, and also talk about our passions. And we couldn't do it all without the grace of God. And that's why I'm called FC. Faith in Christ influences new knowledge, baby. So follow me in. Woo.
Hey, man. How you doing, dude?
Oh, bless, man.
Good seeing you.
You too, brother.
Yeah,
How you doing, John?
good. Really good.
Awesome. Good to
Awesome.
see you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, how was the long-needed vacation?
Oh, it's always good to spend time with the family for sure. So, my kids are much older, so it's kind of hard to figure out what to do with them. And we spent a vacation all over Florida. We went to Busch Gardens. We went to Springs. Went to the beach. Basically we had a Florida vacation.
That's awesome.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things I love about moving to South Florida is I don't really have to go to a destination to go on vacation, except for in this state. There's so many different opportunities and places to see. I guess it's only because I've came down here on vacation, haven't seen much, but Florida's a huge state, so you get an opportunity. You don't have to spend too much money or time to travel. So, well, listen, John, we're coming in here because I wanted to talk about, first of all, talk about how you and I met.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting story, really. I mean, the fact of the matter is I was out marketing myself, out networking and meeting folks at the farmers market, local farmers market, and lo and behold, you were doing the same thing. You were hustling, you were working hard, in the Florida sunshine, and we just kind of hit it off, in a grand fashion. Basically, had some commonalities with both being entrepreneur minded and both wanting to serve our community and give back. And so right from the beginning, there was a lot of strong synergy between, who we are as individuals and what we'd like to accomplish in life and what our purpose is.
One of the things that I love most that we connected on was our spirit.
Yeah.
Our spirit and our love for God. And that walk. And so one of the commonalities that we had was we was talking about the youth, but I found out something. You and I had a chance to spend some time together. You came over for dinner. Lo and behold, you didn't know it was my wife's birthday, but your wife had shared something with me about your college background and what you went to school for.
Yeah, so I went to school for marketing and management. I have a degree, dual major in management and marketing from Florida Atlantic University, and that's going back quite a ways. But so I've always had a love and passion for growing people's businesses, business development. Most of my background is in sales and advertising, and so I really feel like growing a business is the greatest challenge one could take on, but also one of the most rewarding because you can see the business grow and you know the numbers don't lie. You have a direct reflection of all the effort and hard work you put in based on the profit that the business can generate, and not to mention the satisfied customers that you're helping.
Now, what I found interesting, the reason why I brought that up is because the talent that I heard you talk about that you had nothing to do with advertising and marketing. It actually had to do with financial literacy and investments, and that's what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah, so currently I am working for a Fortune 500 financial service firm, and it is the most rewarding thing I think I've done to this date because I am really affecting people's lives in terms of, being able to achieve all of the goals that they have when they, want to put someone through college or whether or not they want to retire or help, their family. It's tremendous the amount of people that I can help and what an impact it has been.
How often do you get someone that is 18, 19, or 25 years old to come and get financial advice from?
It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's like one of the most rewarding things I could do to put somebody on the path to financial, security. I think, stability is one thing, but financial security is something that it is achievable and much easier to achieve when you're younger. And that's really rewarding when you see somebody that has that, fortitude to want to, make a difference from the very beginning and wanting to really significantly see their lives change and see themselves much different than how maybe they were brought up. And that's really, really rewarding.
And so that brings us back because that I work with the youth. And one of the things that I think is important, one of the things that lacked in my household, which I think actually lacks in many households that we agree, is because we're seeing far or few between of that age group coming in when we could actually get them at that age of 18 years old, starting to teach them financial literacy and how to invest and actually set yourself up for failure, because there are going to be some roadblocks and obstacles that you're going to have to overcome, that you're going to need to have some liquid and assets to be able to help you overcome those. And so one of the things that I love about you is that you're willing to share that with our kids through the Entrepreneur Academy. And we've had discussions about some vehicles that a young person could take advantage of now and be set by the time they were 35 and having some security. Share some of those things with us.
Yeah, just the power of compounding interest and how there's so much opportunity out there when it comes to growth and particularly the equity market. There's a lot of good, reputable, stable companies that somebody could invest in now, be a part of the growth of the company, see the dividend income rise, and be able to take advantage of that is just tremendous. It's obviously the sooner you get started, the better. And there's just so many opportunities out there that, frankly, it's mind-boggling. To say that one that's young and has the resources to put into the market, it's the sky's the limit.
So when we were both, I mean, I'm still young. I mean, and you're still young. We're both still young. But when we were, mindset, I guess I could say my mindset when I was 18 was the same. I was all about, trying to make as much money as I possibly can. But I didn't start learning about investing that money until in my late 20s. What I thought was investing was going out and buying a nice car and a house, which is a good investment, right? Except for going out and spending and buying a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. What are some of the things that you believe that we're lacking in our education system today about financial literacy?
Well, I think just simply just people understanding the value of the dollar, and what effort has to go into that. And really appreciate, not only the hard effort that you have to make to attain that, but really now what do you do with that and how do you spend that? And so budgeting and all the different financial tools of, having a bank account and, what to do with that bank account and how to, save and, how much you should save versus, how much you should spend. And I think there's a lot of just misconceptions out there that, the school system really doesn't put these kids in a good light to really understand how to live, and I think some of it's true and some of it's not. I know one of the things that I've done and I try to help is I've worked with a charity that does that educates kids in the school system. And I think that's a really smart thing to do to give some kids some exposure to, how to handle their financial affairs. It's one thing to learn all this information, whether it's history or reading or writing, but, how are you going to survive in this world? How are you going to live?
So I'm excited for you to get into the classroom and actually start getting able to get these young people in the right investment and securities for their future. If someone that is not in our academy, how would they reach out to you? Because I don't know, do you charge for financial advice, or how's that work?
Yeah, so I'm a licensed financial advisor or investment advisor, and so there's a couple different ways in which I charge clients. It's either on a fee base or on a commission base, and so it's on a case by case basis based on what the client needs and so forth. So it's very specific in need. So it depends on the situation, and certainly I'm more than willing to help give any advice that I can, especially for a young entrepreneur or somebody that's just starting out. My fees are reasonable. Actually, I've been told they're more than reasonable compared to some of the other advisors and folks that work in my field.
Okay, awesome. And so if anybody wants to get in touch with you, do you have a phone number they could reach you at, or would you like them to reach out to me and get to my website and I pass on the information?
Yeah, that would be terrific. That'd be a great way for us to work together.
Okay.
Someone that is interested, reach out to you, and then we can from there we'll make the connection.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate you joining me today on the show. I'm excited to have you. We end up having a really good conversation and some infrastructure that was added onto the academy. The first 6 weeks of the academy is going to be a boot camp, and it's an emotional boot camp. It's basically, us getting in control of our emotions and our impulses. In fact, I got a class tonight that we start at 6:30 tonight, going on a 7-day challenge. Hope you get an opportunity to jump on line and join us for that. But we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and I look forward to having you in the classroom.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so do I. It's awesome.
All right. I appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Ed.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it very much.
All right. Right there. That's what. Please tell me you're rolling.
Well, you didn't say that,
I
but
know.
I am rolling now.
Yeah.
Action.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, guys. My name is FC, and I am the Entrepreneur Source. Today's show is all about purpose, finding your purpose in life. And sometimes life has curveballs that are thrown at you, obstacles, and even natural disasters that could actually put you into your purpose in life and turn you into becoming an entrepreneur. And today's guest is exactly that. They've got a unique story, and I'm going to introduce them. It's Ron and Don Eating.
And
Rich.
Don Cushing.
Go back. Don and
Ron
Rich.
Don. It's like, no.
Don and Rich Cushing. So, and they're with Cushing Claims, and they're going to hear today and join us and tell us and share their story and how they became and helping the community inside here, the Treasure Coast. What's going on? Now that I got your name right, Rich.
Thanks for having us.
No, I appreciate you guys coming out. So that's what we were talking about is you know, a little bit is I've had some things going through in my personal life, which happened to push me into my calling to where I am today. And when I first met Dawn, which was actually at a networking event, and I seen her, I didn't get to meet her. She was like famous here in Treasure Coast. I wanted to meet her. So one of her events popped up, and I'm like, oh, I can go. I can meet this lady. She's everywhere. Dawn, Dawn, I don't know how you do it. Like I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's got to be like 20 of you. Where's your cape at?
Exactly. Well, you know, you do what you got to do when you own your own business.
Exactly. And you guys, we were just talking about that. You guys actually just came from vacation.
Yeah.
And how was the vacation?
Good. Short.
Wonderful. It was the first vacation we actually took in 3 years because we're running a business.
Right. And Ron, you were mentioning that you haven't, Rich, you have mentioned that you have not seen Dawn in a year. Why is that?
She came back on board. She's always owned half of my company, and to come back and run the marketing for us, she wanted 1 more %.
Okay.
So last November I gave her 1 more %, and I haven't seen her since.
Okay. Well,
I actually taught her how to network market.
You did.
Yes.
So you're the genius behind her.
Absolutely not. That took about 4 seconds for me to explain what networking really was, and then I didn't see her since November of last year, and she took the ball from there.
Everybody else in Treasure Coast is seeing her. I can tell you that because she is everywhere. She's got her hands into everything. I see her. Not only is she marketing for the company, but I've also seen her in community meetings and working inside the community. So you guys do a lot for the community as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, I do a lot of volunteer work with different organizations. I try to give back to them. We really try to give back to the community as much as possible. What you give back to your community is what you get back from your community, and I honestly believe that.
That's awesome. Now, Rich, you were born and raised here in the state of Florida. Where'd you come from?
Actually, I was born in Boston, but I grew up in Boca Raton.
Oh, okay. Boca Raton.
And Don grew up in New Mexico.
Okay.
We met in West Palm Beach in 2001. I owned a restaurant. She sold me an ad I couldn't afford, didn't want. And I said, hi, I'm Rich. And she said, well, hello, I'm single. And then, you know, it took her a while to figure out that I really wasn't rich. It was just a name.
What was his name?
And that was 21 years ago. That was just after 9/11, 2001.
Oh, wow. And so once you guys got together in 2001, you had some ventures and some excitement that happened in your life. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I got out of the restaurant business in 2004 in April. We got broken into in West Palm Beach in May of 2004. And Don said I was buying a house in Fort Pierce immediately after that. So I bought a house signed on the scene in Fort Pierce on June 15, 2004. And on September 5th, we got hit with the first hurricane. And then on September 26th, we got hit with the second hurricane. So I'm brand new to the area. I did not know any roofers or contractors. I'd never, put a shingle on the roof in my life. And ended up forming a partnership with K.L. Adams General Contractor. And the next thing you know, I'm a roofer. And we did a few hundred re-roofs, we did a few hundred renovations, and a few hundred restoration projects. And then that petered out, and as the market crashed in 2008, I walked into TLC Experts in Fort Pierce, which was a family-run, long-term resident of the Treasure Coast. Great company. But they were a mitigation company that got most of their income from insurance companies.
Okay. How's that work?
They do the work. They do the mitigation, the emergency water removal, mold remediation, and the actual rebuild. God forbid something happens to your house.
Right.
So they could do the whole thing. But the talent was in getting the insurance company to pay that tab, not the insured.
Okay.
And reduce that amount, even if you can reduce down the deductible, do whatever we could to alleviate the problem for the insured and still make money. In 2011, I was more valuable to the insurance companies.
Okay.
Now I have roofing experience, construction experience, renovation experience, now mitigation and mold experience. It was pretty popular.
Okay.
I was an independent adjuster, so I worked for multiple companies at the same time. And from 2011 to 2020, we probably did an average of 500 to 600 claims a year, non-hurricane claims,
Wow.
every year from Boca Raton to Cocoa Beach. And Dawn actually came on board with me in 2017 and became an adjuster. She's a licensed adjuster as well. You just don't want to get her on the roof because she'll never come back down. And she hated working for me.
Imagine that.
That's why she has 1% more of the company right now.
Now we work together.
Yeah. Well, I really work for her, but I always
Yes.
do.
Right.
So, and that's the progression we took. And in 2020, right after the pandemic, I waited for the pandemic to hit. We became public adjusters.
Okay.
The reason for that, it's kind of basic, kind of lends to the whole conversation. When I became an adjuster, they taught me how to handle the claim like it was my grandmother's. If there was something to pay for that they could pay for, find a way to pay for it, find a way to cover it. In 2016, the culture changed. There was a widening gap between what they were going to pay and what the ultimate settlement was, but you had to be represented by either a public adjuster or an attorney.
Okay.
to get it.
That could get expensive.
It was, yeah, it wasn't fair and timely.
Right.
If any attorney, involvement, it's going to take more time to get through the claim.
Absolutely.
But the culture changed to the point where it was avoid the claim, treat every claim like it was fraud, and avoid, if possible, any possible coverage.
Okay.
So it went from being a very satisfying experience for me. It's really satisfying to put somebody back together, especially in the worst moments of their life,
Absolutely.
to being what they always knew the insurance companies were going to do, because I was always taught they were going to lowball and they were going to do this and they were going to do. Well, the insurance companies heard it, they became that over a period of time. So I was able to pay less and less on the claim.
What's your take on what's going on right now with the current insurance crisis that we have here in the state of Florida?
It's been going on a long time. Even before we moved to the Treasury Coast, it's always been a hot topic in Florida, and Florida is the home of fraud.
Okay.
And fraud is a real problem for insurance, anything related to insurance, all sides of it. And sometimes that's even committed by the insurance company.
Okay.
So it's the whole spectrum of that. But what really happened was the insurance companies wanted to raise rates. 2011, 2012, 2013, they went to the state and they said, hey, we're spending so much on these claims to process these claims, paying so many people, engineers and adjusters to go out and verify these damages, we need to raise rates. And the state of Florida, the legislators in Florida said, well, no, you can't just because it costs you that much.
Right.
However, legal defense, you can't. So they went from claims processing to claims denial
Okay.
to claims delayed to underpaid claims, and they created their own monster. But they want to talk a lot about fraud, and that's again the worst problem in insurance. But what's really happened in the last 2 to 3 years is the insurance companies have gone back to the state and they've had language changes to your policy approved. And your policy is nothing more than a promise in the
Right.
contract.
Right.
So the language matters. If your roof leaks and you don't have a hole or opening that's greater in diameter than 4 inches, it's not covered.
Yeah, they tried to. My insurance company sent me a letter stating they increased my premium by $500 a month or a year,
Right.
and then said that they weren't going to cover my roof at all. So,
And if you have a mortgage, that's a problem.
yeah.
Also they're coming out with policies that say they'll pay for your roof, but at the depreciated amount.
Got it.
So if a roof depreciates 3% per year, I just happen to know that one fact.
Right.
So if it's a 10-year-old roof, that's 30% of the cost of your roof. They're just not going to pay for it.
Wow. So how do you guys, what sets your company aside from the stigma of public adjusters?
Well, the whole thing is whenever it became the insured's problem to start defending their claim rather than, to start proving their claim rather than defending it, I should say. At that point in time, we realized that they needed a champion, and we decided we would become their champion. We're also very, very big in our community. I plan on running for office in 2024.
Okay.
We are on a mission to civilize the public adjusting industry, quite frankly. When we go out, probably, what would you say, 60-70% of the people that we see, we actually advise them against filing their claim because it's not in their best financial interest. And that's what we are supposed to do as adjusters. Unfortunately, most people do not, stick to that credo. And we decided at that point in time that we were going to make it what we wanted it to be and actually help the community instead of hurt them.
Well, that's fantastic. Speaking of helping the community, so as entrepreneurs or people the people that are watching out there, if they were interested in starting their own business or currently have their own business that they just started, what kind of piece of advice would you give them as far as surviving and making it?
Surviving is key. Surviving is definitely key. The automation and the technology today, people want to do things really easy.
Right.
And they want to think that they can market a company by clicking the mouse. Well, if you're one of 50,000 companies, 500 companies, or 50 companies that do what you do, but you're brand new, you're not going to get very high on the list.
Right.
Or you're going to spend most of your capital on that advertising, which may or may not be successful. It's the person behind the company that's going to sell your company.
That's right.
You've got to get out. You got to shake hands. If I do 4 or 5 things a week, if I go to 4 or 5 events a week, I'm exhausted. Dawn does that on a Monday. I don't, honestly, thank God she does. And again, I just think that that's because she doesn't want to go home. But besides that, you have to stay out there.
Right.
Even if it's, in a lot of the groups, there'll be some overlap, there'll be a number of the same people in each group. But number one, they need to hear the consistent message every time, multiple times, just so it gets through to the back of their brain to kind of germinate, to look for the opportunity to refer you. It's not about handing out business cards or selling someone. It's about having them sell you.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Way to go. How about you, Dawn?
My take on that would be get involved in your community, get active in your community, give back to your community. But like I said, the more you give back to your community, the more your community is going to give back to you. You may be, and maybe you don't want to go, don't expect when you go to a networking event to get, referrals from these people. They need to get to know you. They need to get to trust you. So the more you go to these events, you become family. And the Treasure Coast, I have found, is really about community, and we are really one large family. It is really quite set apart from the average city that you see today, is that we are still very close-knit, very family-oriented, and, just become a part of your community. The more you do for your community, the more people get to know you in that respect, the more, referrals you're going to get, and the more you're going to enjoy yourself.
Fantastic. So 2 final questions. One is what would if our viewers are watching, what would be a reason why they would need to call you or use your service?
Because they think they might have a claim. We would like to have them give us a call as soon as possible, if at all possible. Or, we do reopen claims as well. But if we can catch it from the beginning, a lot of times we can help, prevent people from making a claim when they really shouldn't have, because that still is a strike against you with the insurance company. What do you think?
Well, a lot of times, something bad will happen. The toilet commits suicide. The kitchen sink, you discover a leak, or God forbid, wind damage, or a roofer comes and knocks on your door and tells you have wind or hail damage. And you don't get on your roof very often.
Right.
So now it's a matter of, okay, how do I need to file a claim? What's the downside of filing that claim? So it's and God forbid I have a problem, whether or not the insurance is involved, you need to know what type of contractor would be appropriate to bring in. I can help with it.
And do you guys have referrals for that?
do.
Folks you guys work with?
Yeah, we have a very tight knit referral source that we work with on a consistent basis. We work with a lot of attorneys, a lot of roofers, and a lot of contractors use this because they know that their client is in the best hands that way.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys coming out. One last thing, why don't you tell everybody how they can reach you and get a hold of you if they have something they think they have a claim or they want to file a claim?
Go ahead.
CushingClaims.com or 772-332-8756. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook. If you light a
Instagram.
fire outside your house, I'll see it.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. We appreciate you stopping in at the Havakava for afternoon of the FC show. And we look forward to seeing you guys Thursday night here at the Treasure Coast.
Yes.
We will be here for the network Beast Mode networking event here, where we're going to be doing some live filming of some additional guests that we're going to have on the show. Dawn is obviously going to be here. We're going to figure out where she hides her cape. I'm FC, the Entrepreneur Source. We'll see you next week.